Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel and I make videos about quilting and my creative life. Anywhere that you can find me on the web, Instagram, TikTok, that type of thing is listed down in the description box below. And today I'm coming on to share with you my top 10 favourite free foundation paper piecing patterns. This video is very kindly sponsored by MUNBYN. We're showing you this wonderful wireless printer and sharing discount codes with you. This obviously isn't a complete list of all the free patterns that are out there. There are so many wonderful free patterns available on Pinterest. So if you don't already use Pinterest, it's a website that you can go on to and you can pin things and save them to like mood boards, memory boards, idea boards, and you can go back to them and visit them. But basically you follow the link through and it will come to the free patterns. To find any free patterns, just search free foundation paper piecing patterns and you'll be able to find them. But for all of the patterns that I mentioned today, all of the links will be down in the description box, so you don't need to worry about that. I've sifted through all the websites to make sure that the patterns are there. Some of them you do need to sign up to the newsletter for. Obviously, once you receive the pattern, there's no obligation to stay subscribed to the newsletter. Some of them you just simply click on the link to download. But just as a word of warning, make sure you're clicking on the correct thing to press download. It's not like an advert or anything like that you're downloading, because lots of these websites can sometimes have adverts on them. So the first pattern that I'll discuss with you is the butterfly pattern, and that's by Hand Madhya. I'll put some pictures up on the screen here, but I think this block is so wonderful. There's lots of foundation paper piece butterflies, but it can be rare to find one that's free. And I think this would go wonderfully if you paired it with a flower and you had the butterfly hovering over the flower. That would be really cute. Maybe for a wall hanging or a pillow. Don't forget, with all of these free patterns, you can scale them to size. You can increase the size on your home printer or shrink the sizes. If, like me, you're into small things. As well, with free downloads, I always find it best that when you see one for free, that you download and save it to your computer, maybe in a folder, because sometimes the free period does end. So if you see a freebie, download and save it to your computer so that you know you've got it when you need it. Next one is one that you might not need until next year because it's an Easter themed one, and these are carrots. I guess you could also make it like gardening themed if you was doing something for a gardener. And this is a carrot foundation paper piecing pattern by a Diary of a Quilter. And I think this is a wonderful pattern, again, great for table mats for Easter period. So with these patterns, I've tried to include a range of different things, whether it's traditional quilt blocks that are made into foundation paper piecing or more picture type of blocks, because that's what I do really enjoy. But also for foundation paper piecing, it's an incredibly accurate way to do patterns. So pattern number 3 is a mini flying geese pattern, and that's by Scrap Fabric Love. So with this pattern, it is quite small, so it's really good for going on bags and little bits of decorations, and you could find it difficult to make a traditional flying geese in this size, so that's why I've included this one. But of course you can increase the size, and if you like any of these patterns, there are usually ones that you can buy that will include ranges of sizes. So when you buy a foundation paper piecing pattern, you'll usually find that you get 4, maybe 6 different sizes included in the pattern, so that you can do whatever size you fancy. With the free ones, you can probably just scale it on your home printer. The next 2 are from the same creator, so 4 and 5 is Rosie Taylor Crafts. If you don't follow her on Instagram, please go and do so. Her posts are wonderful, colourful and just so inspiring. The first pattern that I'll be sharing is a free economy block from her. And this is really good. I've done a few projects with an economy block, and it's really good for framing prints that you like in the middle of the block and then working out with colour placement. And number 5 is the half diamond. So this is kind of like a triangle design where you can match them together to make a full diamond. So you could repeat it top and bottom to have the same colours, so as a diamond, or as in the example pictures, you can just do it completely scrappy, which I think I'm inclined to do. I intend to make this pattern, perhaps put it on a bag or a pouch or something. I think it's quite a fun pattern to make. And with most of
This is
these
the
patterns,
wireless
they're a
printer
great
by
way to
MUNBYN.
use up
It
scraps.
does come with a wire, but
Now, if
that
you're
isn't
looking for a way to
necessary
print
for
your
printing,
patterns,
so
then
it's
look no
great
further
for
than a
printing
wireless
on the
printer.
go, and it's very small and compact. There's no ink included. It's a thermal printer, so there's no need to replace any ink cartridges. It will just be adding in the thermal paper, which either comes on a roll or in a fan fold. You can print directly from a mobile, tablet, or even a laptop or desktop device. You just need to select the file that you want to print, import it into the app, and just print as usual. I wanted to see if I could just print one page. This was a 5-page document, and I just wanted page 2, and that was very easy just to select, and it confirmed how many pages and how many copies as normal, just like you're printing on your computer. And this printer is so quiet and compact. Paper's a great way for printing out the foundation paper piecing patterns, and it made sewing on them an absolute dream, which I'll show you in a moment. There's absolutely no mess with the ink, so you don't need to worry about that. And the printer would be great for taking on the go, taking to groups or classes that you attend, or even like me last month when I went on a quilt retreat. This would have been great and saved me having to print 100 of my pattern just in case I ran out. I could have took this with me. So here I am just demonstrating that the paper is absolutely fine to sew onto. Because it is a thermal paper, you can't iron it in between applying your fabric, but I generally use a fabric roller anyway. But you can iron the piece once the papers are removed, that's absolutely no problem. If you applied a hot iron, it would just mean that the paper discoloured, wouldn't affect the fabric or anything like that. This is how I use my seam roller, and the fabric come out absolutely perfect. Just trim and follow the exact same steps. If you would like to look at this printer in more detail and make a purchase, there are several links in the description box below, including a discount code which is valid for a short period only. But if you have any other questions about the printer, I'm more than happy to answer those in the comments.
And number 6 is a really fun design, which is actually by Riley Blake Designs, and it's a pencil design. And again, I think this is wonderful for giving as gifts, maybe to teachers. There's lots of blocks that you can pay for where it's the alphabet, so I think it would be really cute if you had a couple of pencils and then the person's name spelt out in foundation paper piecing or applique, whichever you fancy doing. So that's a really good gift idea. This next one is more of a quilt block. It's called the Charleston quilt block. I'm not sure if that's the traditional name for this pattern, but it's like a star and it's got kind of like a rope design around it. Not necessarily a rope, but a star with a square going around it, which I think is really nice. You can really play with the colour placement and get some really nice designs with this. And that's by Generation Quilt Patterns. Same as number 8, they've also produced a free pineapple pattern, which you can do. I think pineapple quilts are wonderful. Again, it's kind of like when you do the log cabin and you have the colour placement, the pineapple, you can really play around with the colour placement and produce some really beautiful designs. Or of course, you can just leave it completely scrappy. Number 9 is a design that I am definitely really interested in doing. I've seen lots of these flowers all over Instagram. Are they called a Rebecca? Anyway, I really love the flower, and this is by Flying Parrot Quilts. Again, this one is a completely free pattern, and wouldn't that be really nice paired with the butterfly that I showed at the very start? Perhaps you could scale the flower up, scale the butterfly down if it wasn't too fiddly for you. I think those would go together really nicely. And then number 10, we've got a doll or a child or a person, I'm not sure how to describe it. And that's by Sisterhood Quilts. I think this one is really cute. There's lots of doll patterns that I want to have a go at. But all of these patterns are sort of an introduction to foundation paper piecing, because you do this way you don't have to invest a lot of money into patterns to see whether you like it. I say a lot of money, generally speaking, the patterns are less than £5 each, and like I say, they come with different sizes. I usually search for my paid patterns on Etsy. You can find lots on there, and then you can bookmark your favourites and check out what other patterns that designer has. So perhaps if you like any of these free patterns, check out to see if the designer has any paid for patterns that you might be interested in, or if you do like foundation paper piecing, scour the internet like I do for hours trying to find inspiration. So there we have it. I hope you've enjoyed my top 10 foundation paper piecing patterns that are free of charge. If you have any favourites that I haven't mentioned, perhaps leave them in the comments along with a link or the name of where to find it so that other people can also try out your recommendations. That would be really fun. And if you've never tried foundation paper piecing and you would like to, I've got some videos on my channel on that. But also a lot of these patterns, when you download it, they'll have a written tutorial on their website with pictures and things like that of how to do the foundation paper piecing. And that way it will give you a good insight on how to do the technique, which is really accurate, really fun, and you can just have such fun time with all of your scraps. I think I may go and pick out a foundation paper piecing design and make a lovely carry pouch for my printer, just so that when I take it with me and put it in my bag, it's nice and protected. I think I might use one of the ones from Rosie Taylor Crafts, and yeah, so watch this space for the bag to protect this. I'll probably post that over on my Instagram or my TikTok, so if you haven't followed me already, please go ahead and do so. So I think that brings this video to an end. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the links in the description if you are interested in that printer that I showed. And until next time, take care. Bye bye.